Good morning, dolls, and welcome to Little Gretchen's workshop. So today I'm going to do something a little bit different. Now, we just finished the rooming house bathroom, and I literally accessorized it. I mean, everything. And so I was thinking that I need to go ahead and put all my treasures into the kitchen and pantry since that room was completed before the bathroom. So, dolls, I'm going to allow you today to watch me play, to fill my cabinets, cupboards, stove, sink, and icebox. I also have a couple tables that I need to outfit as well. So, let's go ahead and get started. So dolls, here I am in the rooming house kitchen, and I'm just removing the chairs. I've already removed the stove, the ice box, the cabinet, and the table. Oh, and the sink is on the table as well. That's just a little cute high chair I bought. I just love it. And that's a little Bond chair that I painted to match the beadboard. And that's just a little platform that I made with wood and the egg carton for my stove. Now, these are some little pictures that I made. I'll show you how to do that, dolls, in another video. But I actually, made those out of liquid Sculpey. So, really great product, and I'll definitely show you that technique at another time. So let's go ahead and pop on over and look into the pantry. Oh, I just wanted to show you I installed the towel rack and brought the other plunger here in the kitchen. If you haven't seen the video regarding the plunger and how I make towel racks from paper clips, definitely check out my playlist. So this is the complete room. It's empty, and I'm going to give you a quick glance as well of the pantry because we're going to be outfitting all the furniture and adding accessories to both of these rooms. So I just kind of want to give you a glance of what they look like empty. And that space that we're looking at is where I'm going to put the pantry cabinet that I made from scratch. Again, if you haven't seen that video, check that out under the furniture playlist. And that's just my little barrier because the workers are working on the dining room, so I don't want debris to get in this area where I'm preparing to add the food and furnishings. So let's go ahead and outfit those items. So here's my stove. I bought this stove several years ago, actually when I first bought the Rooming House Dollhouse. So it was literally one of the pieces that inspired my vision for the house. So I just broke the handle off of it trying to get it open. So I need to glue that back together really quick. Okay, so dolls, I glued it and it's drying. So all is well in the world. So I really love this little stove, and I've made lots and lots of items to go in it and on it. But now it's time to sort and decide, which is a challenge within itself. So dolls, that's the cabbage and the greens that I put in the pots that I made from scraps. If you haven't seen that video, definitely check it out in my playlist. This has truly become the moment that my vision is coming together. And so I'm so excited that you dolls are with me in this process. So when I arrange my items anywhere in my house, I'm not a gluer. I always use some tacky wax or some type of museum wax to keep my items in place. I don't like glue. I like to always have the option to move things around, change things around, swap things out. So I guess I'm a little old school when it comes to that, dolls. And I guess another reason why I don't glue things down is because I play with my dollhouse. And if I glued things down, that would be quite frustrating. And yeah, little Gretchen really wouldn't like that. So you see, I just added a generous amount of the tacky wax to the bottom of the item I wanted to sit on the stove. And you want to put enough that it would hold nice and tight, but not so much that you would see it after you've placed your item where you want it to be. And I'm gently arranging my pieces. Now that's a little teapot I've had for many years, and I added cotton to the spout to make it look as though steam was coming out. I love fun little details like that, dolls. All right, and I'm adding some to the kettle, and I'm actually going to put it over here in this corner. I don't know if that would be the proper place for a kettle, but I figure with a big cast iron stove like that, I heard they were really very hot when they were in existence. So even if things weren't on the eye, things would cook. I'm just thinking of some other things I actually might need for my cooking area. This dollhouse has a little bar, I guess it would be for pot holders and towels and things, but it looks like I'm going to have to make some items to modify my work area for all of my accessories. I have these little ladles that have hooks on them, so they need to be able to hang, but that rod is too big. And this little skillet has a hook on it as well, but the rod on the stove is too wide, so I'm going to have to make a rack for that. So that will be in an upcoming video. I also have all of these pots that have holes in them, and they need to hang on the wall, but don't want to just drive nails into the wall. Remember the egg pot dolls? If you haven't seen the video of my Trash to Treasure pots and pans, definitely look for that in my playlist. So I do have more work to do, but this is one of those instance dolls where I tell you that you have to play. Sometimes you don't know what you need until you begin to play. I guess you don't know what you need until you need it. So after I arranged the things that I could on top of the stove, I've added my cornbread, and there are a few other little things that I would like to add as well, but I don't want to add things prematurely. I want to see how things will look, and then I'll know what else I need. Now this is a little roaster that I bought a while back. I just had to have it. Now I don't know where I'm going to put it. And there's a slice of cornbread with melted butter, and I think that'll look appropriate right there on the corner of the stove. Yeah, let's see how it'll look in the room. So here I am back in the Rooming House Kitchen, and I'm just placing the stove on top of the platform. And this is my other little cabinet. Now I'm decorating the room basically from the back items on all the way out to the edge. So I won't have to keep moving things in and out. Now I really like the way things look, but I have a lot of bare wall space that needs to be filled. So I need to figure out how I'm going to hang my pots, pans, and pot holders on the walls. So that's a project within itself. Dolls, my imagination is exploding with ideas. So let me put this broom in the corner and get back to the cabinets. So let's go ahead and outfit these cabinets. Now remember, dolls, this is one of the first furniture items I made. I didn't even sign it. That was before I kind of got really serious about making furniture. But you can see it. I've got lots of flaws and errors and over glued where the stain wouldn't go, but it looks great. And I did make this cabinet, top cabinet with the glass in 2021. So it's not perfect, but I love it. And I'm going to display it proudly in my rooming house kitchen. So let's go ahead and get these items filled. So dolls, I'm about to face the reality of the amount of things that I've collected for this kitchen. Keep in mind, dolls, that I've been collecting for years and I make things. I've been making things since I was 10 years old. This is a jar of cinnamon, an actual jar of cinnamon in a jar that I found, and a jar of peppermints. So I'm using items that I've made and things that I've purchased. Some of my items are very crude because I made them when I was very young, but they're very special and nostalgic to me. Like this wooden jar of Smucker's jam. It's crude and way out of scale, but I think it'll look good as a filler in the back of the cabinet. And so is this large jar of Barbie peaches. Now here are a few of the things that I've gathered to put in my cabinets. And look what I found. A jar of peanut butter I made when I was a girl. It is huge and way out of scale. But you know, dolls, I don't believe in wasting anything. So I'm going to find a place for it. Now, it won't fit in this cabinet because the shelves are the R12 scale. But the things that I can fit in there, I'll put them in the back and put the more perfected items in the front. So there's a place for everything. Don't throw away your crude items or things that aren't perfect. You use them to fill the backs of your cabinets. Remember, nothing wasted, dolls. So dolls, here I am just trying different things in the cabinet. Now these are some of my jars of resin food that I made. And I'm just trying to decide which ones I want, looking at the different colors and the variation of the shapes of the vegetables. So I'm just stacking together those plates that I like. I put wax in between each plate and wax on the bottom plate so that they'll stay put inside the cabinet. And I'm working on putting a little wax on the bottom of those peaches because they are going to sit in the back of my cabinet. So I'm just putting them in and tucking them in place. Now, I just want you dolls to be aware that this is a very tedious process. And you're going to have to take your time and think about where you're going to place your items. You can't just slam them on the shelves and call it a day. You need to arrange them based on color and height and their visual interest. So, as you can see, dolls, I have tons of things to put in these cabinets. So I have to be very mindful of how I arrange them together to give the most interesting look. Now, this bottom cabinet will actually be closed, but if anyone opens them up, I want it to look realistic. Now, this is a small jar of cat faces. Yes, I'm sorry, dolls. It's Hello Kitty faces. I didn't know that's what they were until I had already put them in the jar. They were a bonus gift from another miniaturist when I bought some things, and my daughter pointed out to me that those were Hello Kitty faces. For all you Hello Kitty fans, sorry, I didn't mean to jar the cat faces. I'm really looking at the inside of the cabinet. I love how old and rickety the inside of the cabinet looks. I remember when I made the cabinet, I felt bad about the glue spills and the areas that wouldn't take the stain. And now looking at it, to me, it looks great. It makes it look really, really aged. The top of it looks really well. It took the stain well. But now I'm about to place items on it. So I want the top of the counter or the top of the cabinet to look as though someone was about to start cooking or making something delicious. So I want to lay out a lot of ingredients on the top counter. Now these are some of the pieces I got from the Ann Arbor Miniature Show, and I think they'll really look great on the table. And see, my jar of peanut butter fits inside the glass cabinet. So that's a perfect space for it. So I have a few other pieces that I made previously, and I'm just trying to decide what items I should put inside this glass cabinet. So I want to have one shelf for dishes, one for some handy, frequently used food items, and you see I've got a little box of tea, and I've got some jams, got graham crackers, cream and sugar, so many different little things that I've collected and bought. And I guess that's one reason I put off outfitting the kitchen, because I knew it would be time consuming and very tedious. And I really didn't know if I would even make a video doing this. But I did have a few subscribers ask me how I decide to put things the places I put them. And you just have to like sit again and imagine and think about how people use things or how you use things in your kitchen or anywhere in your dollhouse, and be mindful of those things. I would think that the sugar and things would be on the table, or but jams and butter and frequently used items would be close by and handy, like the raisins and the tea and the cream and sugar. So you have to just think about how you would use things in life size and consider how your dolls are going to use them in the house. So many times I always say that the dolls help me to create and imagine, because I think about their lives and what they're doing and how they would use things. So that helps me to arrange my items. For those of you who have needed some help in arranging your things in your dollhouse, I hope this video helps you. I do use tweezers and things like that to help me push things around, and I do use toothpicks to assist me in putting the wax on the bottom of the item. Now you see that little yellow box, it's very crude and part of the label is off. But again, I'm putting some things in front of it, so it'll look fine right where it is. That jar of tea, again, another crude item, but it's going to look nice. Now here's some of my other things arranged on the counter, and a nice bowl of brown eggs. And everything has wax on it, and it's looking really cute. Now, although I said use a generous amount of wax under your items, don't use so much that it's oozing out, because that really throws off the realism. Here I found several sets of dishes. I'm saving these for the china cabinet. So I'm trying to make sure things are stable and set. And you see I shook the cabinet and none of my items fell out. And that's what you want. Because if something tips over or falls, you don't want anything to get broken. Now I found a few other little white dishes. So I'm going to use those on that same cabinet shelf that I put the gold trimmed dishes. And I put a white water pitcher in there as well. I think that'll look nice to fill the cabinet up. I'm enjoying this so much, dolls. I've waited so long to arrange these things. So that's a creamer and a sugar container. I got that at the Ann Arbor Miniature Show. At first I was going to put it on one of the shelves. Then I decided to save it for the breakfast table. My cabinet is starting to look nice, but there's something missing. Sometimes, dolls, when you have a lot of things, you'll either forget you have them or you forget where you put them. Either way, it's not fun. So try to always label your packages or boxes so you'll know where you put things. So when you get ready to fill or outfit your furniture or cabinets, you'll know where everything is. Sometimes, because items are really tiny and they're somewhat fragile, we put them away to keep them safe. And then when it's time to use them, you don't know where you put them. So always label your things clearly, similar to the way you would mark and label things if you were packing up to move and unpack at your new house. So you'll always know where things go and what rooms they go to. And I shook it, nothing fell out. So I'm feeling really good about the arrangement. Now I'm just checking as far as closing the doors because I don't want anything to be on the edge where the doors won't close. And it seems like I'm having a little trouble closing the doors. Actually, I think it's due to the humidity in the air. And at second thought, I think the door looks cute open. So I finally found my misplaced items. My glasses, my glassware. They're actually glasses made of resin, but they're really beautiful and very nicely made. And I purchased them specifically for the Rooming House Kitchen cabinets. I'm so glad I found them. Because what would any kitchen be without nice, clean, clear glasses in the cabinet? So now that I've arranged some of the glasses on the top shelf inside this little cabinet, I'll be preparing it to mount it to the wall. I think that looks really cute. I'm really pleased with the way this turned out, and that shelf is the perfect height for my glasses. So dolls, I'm not going to glue this cabinet to the wall inside my kitchen. I'm using huge globs of the museum wax to mount it to the cabinet, because if I ever wanted to switch my items out, I don't want to tear up the wallpaper or get an arm cramp trying to rearrange the items. So now that I have my basic arrangement, let's put them inside the house. And here we are back inside the kitchen. I'm really pleased with the way things are turning out. But I just want to see how things will look so I'll know what else I need to do. Now, if you dolls enjoyed this video, definitely let me know in the comments. Also, like, share, and subscribe. And always look for me on Mondays and Wednesdays after 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's always so much fun creating these videos for you dolls, and I have so much to share. I feel like the more that I share, the more that I have to share. A special shout out and thank you to all my subscribers. You just don't know how much I appreciate you. And also to those of you who haven't subscribed, but you're watching. I appreciate you as well. I truly love the way my kitchen is turning out, and I'm very pleased with my choices. So, dolls, although I introduced all the pieces to the rooming house pantry and kitchen, I'm going to do the other items in additional videos because this video would be extremely long if I did them all now. So be watchful for them in the upcoming schedule. I feel so honored that you all have chosen to join and take this journey with me. So stay tuned so you don't miss the next episode of Little Gretchen's Workshop. Bye-bye now, dolls.